All right. Thank you, Coach. And I just want to say good evening to everyone, and particularly to all of those that are joining us for the very first time. As Coach has indicated, my name is Sarah Odwa Xotongo Majibi. Xotongo is my maiden surname. Majibi is my married surname, but I don't mind either one that you use. I'm also known as Odie in my close circles, so you can call me Odie as well. So last week we spoke a bit about the transformed working life, and I shared a testimony last week, and then I said that this week I would be introducing the transformed working life as it is. When we spoke last week, I shared that I've been actually facilitating the transformed working life at Gauteng provincial government. So I just put a picture there. That is actually a picture of the class of 2019, which was about just half of the class. That was the very last day that we had. And it's really been a journey of learning. But now I want to come back to the main topic in terms of what I want to share as I introduce the topic today. Of course, as Jasper had said, that I've been given a portfolio this year, and I just want to thank the GIG team for trusting me to be able to take on this portfolio. I'm not quite sure what was the criteria for them to choose who actually will run with this portfolio, but I guess I have excellently and successfully messed up the first 40 years of my life, so I feel like I qualify to really speak on the personal growth and development. But it is a topic that I'm very passionate about, and this is where transformed working life is going to fall under. For those of you that have a book, Legacy, this is actually one of the tools that we are using at GIG as we are going through our journey. Chapter 4 of that book actually speaks to something that I want to share that forms the foundation of my introduction. Chapter 4 speaks about the 4 S's, or the stages or the phases that we go through in our journey to actually build a legacy for our families. And the first one deals with struggle. And at struggle, this is where we're saying income less expenses is a minus. So if you are in that phase, then we say you are in the struggle phase because your income less your expenses are a minus. And then there are solutions that are given there. How do you actually then come out of that? How do you increase your income and decrease your expenses? But there's something for me that really struck a chord when I read this book, and particularly the very first solution that it gives, where it said, improve yourself. I mean, I've never really been someone I never thought of myself as someone that has a negative self-esteem, but I remember the day when I read that portion. I've never seen myself as a potential income generating resource. And it was in that day when I actually read that chapter 4 that I could actually see myself that, hang on, I wasn't just a person, but I was actually a potential income generating resource. And I am sharing this because it actually connects to what the transformed working life is all about and what the personal growth and development is about, because it is geared on improving yourself, because you are actually an income generating resource, or you're a potential income generating resource. And I cannot tell you how that has helped me make decisions. I've really made some drastic decisions. Some of them I haven't really successfully carried out. There are a lot that I've carried out that really made me look at the end of the year proudly, so to say. There's certain decisions that I changed. There's certain circle of friends that I moved, because I now recognize that I was an income generating resource, and I actually wanted to invest in building myself up so that I could truly be the person that could then help myself, my family, and help others as well as I journey along life. Jasper has now taken us through this slide, so I won't go into the details. Thank you, Jasper, because you've just saved me about 2 minutes of my presentation. But as he said, legacy as a house, particularly for those who are joining us for the first time today, this is really our blueprint as GIG, where we are beginning. So it's always a place of departure to understand that this is the structure in which we are then putting the flesh on the bones, so to speak. So transformed working life is looking on the wisdom, philosophy, and the worth of purpose. Chapter 3 of legacy, and that is what I've quoted there particularly because this refers to the roof. And Abigail spoke a little bit about it as well in terms of the importance in the spiritual journey for you or for each one of us to connect to our Creator. And so I took that quotation, which is what I've put there in chapter 3 of legacy, where we actually define in detail what legacy is a house is. And this is where Jasper says the top of the roof points up and illustrate the personal relationship each person must have with his Creator to establish his unique purpose on earth. And of course, that's the basis from where we come from, because we can never really move properly forward if we do not have that basis to understand that we are connected to a purpose, and therefore our life, our goals is also connected to that. Okay, so now going towards my conclusion, the transformed working life. The transformed working life is a formal program that was designed by the International Christian Chamber of Commerce, the ICCC. As I indicated last week, Jasper and myself are both members of the ICCC, and that's actually where we connected. And it is a tool that is designed for business owners, whether it's self-employed or employees. And the objective of this tool is to actually help business owners, help people who are self-employed, help employees, help professionals in the marketplace to experience a release into a new dimension in which corporate goals, strategies, and plans become an outward manifestation of an inward walk of faith. That for me is the operative word. And again, it connects to the gig message, because that's the desire that we have, is that we leave a legacy, not only a legacy of what we say with our words, but that we actually, what we live, as I've heard somebody said before, that our audio is actually congruent to our visual for our children, for our children's children, for the community and the nation in which we find ourselves in. The outward manifestation of an inward walk of faith. All right, so I'm now going to just take you through the topic that we're going to be covering in the next couple of weeks, or whenever I get given the platform to be able to present. The very first topic that we're going to look at, or what we call modules, is called to work. And this particular module is focusing on the following. So what we want to assist with, or the objectives particularly of this topic, is the following: to discover that your Creator has created you and has equipped you with all the resources that you need to work effectively and efficiently. 2, to explore that our work is broad. It involves business activity, it involves paid employment, family, civic responsibility, or etc., wherever we find ourselves at the point of our work, but that to explore that work is a high calling from our Creator, that it is not substandard. It is not something that we should just do to earn a pay. In fact, I think if we work just to earn a pay, really we're doing justice to ourselves, because they could never pay us enough for all the things that we do. And thirdly, to understand that as a result of the above, our Creator has and will give us practical help and wisdom for our work, and that through our work we can reflect His glory, or what I call His light, His structure, and His substance. He's helping us. He wants us to be great innovators. He wants us to be great inventors. He wants our businesses to flourish and succeed, because He has given this as a calling, and with that calling comes the enabling that goes with it. All right, so the subtopics. So as I've said, today I'm introducing TWL as a whole. Next week, I'm going to the subtopics of the module called to work. So next week, if I have that opportunity again, I will be introducing the subtopic called to work. I hope you won't miss it. And then we're going to look at the next topic under that, which is mandated to be fruitful. And then we're going to look at work versus a job. And then lastly, we're going to have reflections. So with each module that we go through, we will have reflections. And those reflections are really just opening the floor and getting us to share. Because one of the most amazing things about gig, and for me, this journey is just over a year, is the amount of wealth of experience and resources in terms of age, in terms of, people that have been in business, in terms of skills that we have within this community. And I honor that and I respect that. And I'm also still a person as well who wants to learn and get from you. So these are the topics that we will be covering. The subtopics that we're going to be covering under Call to Work. And so I want to close now with my poem. So I I'm at the end, but I want to close with this poem. I'm a poet myself, but this poem, I didn't write it. It's by Marion Williamson. And maybe as time goes by, I could share some of my work as long as it connects to the transformed working life and to the module that we are going to be covering. But I just wanted to take a listen to this poem because it resonates very strongly with me. And I believe that perhaps it also will resonate with you as we walk together in this gig journey. So Marion Williamson says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberate others. Until next week, thank you, Coach. I'm handing it over to you.